Have you ever pondered the fact that humanity, our humanity, you, me, everyone you know and love, are just numbers constituting the billions of people every single day walking around trying to avoid the unavoidable, the inevitability of not being here one day? The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker was one of the greatest books that I've ever read in my life. It was written in the 70s. So this universal common denominator of which we all are aware of was evident even back then. Now this book was quite technical and dreary in parts, but what it really came down to was that every single fear that you, me, everyone you know experiences in life spurs from the denial of death. That death, the fear of death, is the ultimate fear. That every other fear and consideration and hesitation and doubt and moment of anxiety all is rooted in our denial and constant denial of dying. It was one of the greatest eye-opening reads, and I read it as a 20-something-year-old young man who was still trying to figure life out. I'm still trying to figure life out, but it really stuck with me. The denial of death. I think the majority of the population are in denial of death. Their death, the family's death, everybody's death that they can think of, because it's a very uncomfortable truth. It's a very unsettling notion to go to sleep with. Me, I'm not morbidly fascinated with death. I just think about it every single day in a way, at least in my mind, that is rational. I interpret the inevitability of our mortality in a way that allows me to then live, actually live, and not mope and not be miserable about our demise, my demise. Because when you understand that there is a clear and distinct finish line, again, we're not sure where along the timeline that is going to appear, but there is one regardless, then you really start considering, especially after hitting 40, the time you have left. And that's what I'm doing now every single day. I wake up, I do what I need to do, and then I watch the sunset, because I know that those sunsets are very, very clearly numbered now. How many do I have left is the question I ask myself often on the walk home or the drive home. How many sunsets do I have left to experience in my life? Now, I could bury my head in the sand. I could deny my own death. I could deny the eventual death of my parents and everyone close to me, but for me, I found that being an acknowledgement of it and understanding the ins and outs of existence, and also really bringing to the forefront the finality of it all, has really allowed me to be a more complete, more mature, youngish man. I say youngish, but 41, some would consider that old now, especially the kids these days. That's my point. I can't deny the fact that I am getting older, that my skin is looking different, that there's bags under my eyes that perhaps were never there, that my mind, my organs, everything is now 41 years of age. Now I do everything to stay in good shape, I look after myself, I eat well, but there's 41 years on the clock, and that's only going up. So how can I be in denial of something that I know inevitably will find me, will find you, will find everybody that you know? So that's why I framed the start of this video in such a way, because human existence is predicated on the fact that it's a short temporary ride, that there is an end point. Now, I'm not saying that we should all forget about our responsibilities and we should put down our creative pursuits and live in a morbidly depressing way and remind each other that we're going to die. I don't think that's a positive way to do it. But I also think people overcompensate, overcorrect, and distract themselves to the point where they don't live in a way that they could have been. If you are in recognition of something coming to an end, perhaps a movie even, you pay more attention. If you know that movie's only got 30 minutes to go, you want to know how it ends, right? You lock in, you become focused on it. You want to make sure that you're in the moment and you're not going to miss anything. I think that if we deny that inevitability, that end point, to the point where that you don't ever consider that it's going to stop, that your life is going to run out, then you become not a fool, but someone who lives under false pretenses, someone who wrongly assumes that life is infinite, that you have all the time in the world to pursue your passions, to pursue your creativity, those dreams that you had as a younger person perhaps, that you keep putting them off because you keep saying one day. Well, if we deny our inevitable death, that one day will become no day. I think the reality of knowing that you're going to die really spurs you into action, really motivates you to use the time. I mentioned in a previous video the effects of positive nihilism. And positive nihilism is a thing that basically allows you to live in a positive way because you know you're going to die. But it doesn't depress you. So the point of this video, the overarching theme of this particular video is that yes, I think, and I have experienced and witnessed, and I feel it day to day, that most people never acknowledge their impending death. They don't want to. It's too scary. It's too uncomfortable, too unsettling. The thought of not being here, not breathing anymore, being in the ground or cremated or wherever else you may go. I think that a lot of people don't want to ever acknowledge it, don't ever want to talk about it. Am I saying we should more? Am I saying it should be on a Facebook feed every single day? Am I saying that you should call your friends and message your family and say, hey, how you going, Mum? By the way, remember, you're gonna die. What's for dinner? I'm not saying that. What I am saying though is these parameters, of which has allowed me to speak like this, feel like this about life, has all come as a result of being more aware and in recognition of me dying. I'm not wasting time anymore. I'm not telling myself one day this is going to happen, one day that's going to happen, because I know that one day will not come if I believe that those days won't run out. They're running out as we speak. So I would actually recommend the book, The Denial of Death, if you have this curiosity. Some may call it a morbid curiosity. I don't think it's a morbid curiosity. I think that to know yourself, to know the game of which we are playing is important. Like someone would who goes and learns a specialized skill. They want to know the ins and outs, the end point, the starting point, and everything in the middle. I think we can apply that same approach to knowledge, that same approach to experience to our lives. So that's what I'm doing. I'm waking up every day with the idea of, well, death is coming. Now that sounds, again, depressing on paper, but it's not. If anything, it's liberating. It has freed me. It has allowed me to take a risk. It has allowed me to roll the dice because I know that if I don't, I'm gonna die anyway. What's the point of worrying ourselves to death when we are gonna die anyway? Now, I'm not trying to minimize or undermine your real life problems, because heaven knows I've had my fair share of real life problems. I really have a lot of problems in my life. But I think maturity, wisdom, if you want to call it that, is knowing that this is all temporary, that the small, insignificant, trivial things that happen in our life shouldn't be things we get caught up on, shouldn't be things that we dwell over or think about, lose sleep over, because the ultimate thing to lose sleep over is coming, whether you sleep 8 hours or 4 hours thinking about what someone said. Again, I don't know your personal circumstances. I'm not trying to minimize your existential holding pattern right now. What I'm saying is that if you're in recognition of an endpoint, everything you do up until that endpoint changes. It really shifts the way you think because you know it is coming. Now that makes sense to me. I'm sure it makes sense to you when you really take the emotion out of it, strip away the feelings, that knee-jerk reaction that you may have when you hear someone saying, you're gonna die. So what I really want from these types of videos that I'm making is for people to perhaps ponder their life and the lives of those they care about in a certain way that really allows them to live differently, live more creatively, live more openly, and live more in service. Again, it all stems from the fact that if you know it's coming to an end, if the curtain is going to close, why not do something productive? Why not do something positive? Why not go for something? Why not take a few risks here and there? Why not do any of those things? I mean, we don't get a chance to do it again. I don't know what people are waiting for. I waited for a long time. I'm guilty of it. I understand dipping a toe, taking a risk and then saying, this feels uncomfortable. I need to go back to my cage. I need to go back to what I'm used to. I have bills to pay. That type of language will never allow you to thrive and grow as a person. Of course, you can be calculated with the risks you do take, but you won't take any risks if you keep denying death. So I'm going to leave it there. This was just another musing, another thought pattern in my head that popped up one night, and I wanted to put it on camera. So if you are finding yourself resonating with these types of messages, if you want to contribute to the conversation, please leave some comments. Please subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content, because I think what I'm doing, it's an outlet for me, speaking like this and having a small audience. We're trying to grow it, of course, like everyone on YouTube, but I think I'm doing it more for the fact that I want to create genuine conversation. I want to bring people together to talk about these things, because we are so caught up with distraction and chasing the wrong things and pursuing materialistic ideas that we forget the nature of human existence and, of course, the inevitability of it ending. I think when you are in full recognition of the endpoint, your life will change. It's changed for me in a major way. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I'll see you in the next video.